Hey there guys, Ash here, and we are back with another issue of Power Rangers Prime. Power Rangers Prime issue number 4, and the wait is finally over as everyone has been requesting. Everyone is wondering, when are we going to see Power Rangers in this Power Rangers comic? And it's finally here because issue 3's big cliffhanger was Lauren finally morphing into Red Ranger Prime, and the big cliffhanger for this month's issue is the entire team finally forming, something that's been teased for the longest time. Well, not for the longest time, ever since back in December of last year was when we got the reveal of the full team, and now we finally have the team coming together. And there's a lot to talk about, there's a lot to break down with issue number 4, so let's get into it right away. So the issue opens up with a flashback from 10 years ago, and you have John and Janessa visiting the planet Eltar, as Janessa wants John to visit his home planet and meet his people. And right away we're introduced to one of the commanders on planet Eltar, and that is Commander Yorlam. It's not Zardes, unfortunately. I thought it was Zardes when I saw the preview pages, but it's not. It's some other dude. And right away, John's being scolded because he's an Eltarian with hair. He's still doing that half Earth, half Eltarian custom, and Yorlam wants John to shave his hair because he has to acknowledge the Eltarian traditional roots and remember where he came from. And this is an interesting setup for John because although he's Eltarian, he was raised on Earth, so his allegiance to Earth is more with Earth than Eltar, it seems like, and that's what the flashback seems like it's setting up, because you can have John having that sort of like, you say Goku mentality in a way, a Saiyan raised on Earth, but this is an Eltar raised on Earth, so he'd want to protect Earth more than his own home planet because, you know, he's lived here the longest, he's got friends here, he's got family here, so he'd want to protect them. So this is most likely setting up John rebelling against his Eltarian roots and his Eltarian heritage to protect the people on Earth and to protect its friends on Earth. So meanwhile, back in the present, Lauren has transformed into a brand new Ranger Prime form, and Rita reveals some interesting facts about the suit, or the suits, because this is going to be playing a major key factor when the others get their powers as well. So Rita infused Jasper, the rock Jasper, for strength, so that way the suit can be a lot more sturdier and a lot more stronger than her previous one. And Lauren is confused that this isn't her suit, you know, her samurai suit. And Rita tells her that she must grow beyond her mere firepower if she's to serve her. And that's one thing that Rita also brings up a lot in this issue, is that you'll serve me, I want you to serve me, you'll be by my side when you serve me. And that's a lot of things that Rita talks about in this issue. And I know a lot of people are predicting that Rita is going to be sort of like the mentor in this story. I don't think Rita's cut out for a mentor role, but this is sort of like a reverse Zordon situation where Zordon was this wise wizard that wanted the Rangers to get the powers so they can protect people. Rita has given these teenagers with attitude Ranger powers for her own needs, for her own plan that's probably going to unfold later down the line. So, Lauren having a different suit, and she even brings it up. That's one thing that confuses me because, you know, with Power Rangers Prime, we got all those different variants and all these different covers of Lauren in this brand new samurai form that looked amazing. It looked fantastic. I loved all the different artist transitions of those different suits or those different art styles that Lauren had for her brand new samurai power-up form, and we never saw it. So I do wonder if Melissa actually has anything planned with that suit, because, you know, it was commissioned, it was drawn by a lot of artists for Boom Studio covers here and there, and we never saw it. So either was that suit a fake out, or will we see it later down the line? Who knows? But either way, I like Power Rangers Prime suits. I think the Prime suits are pretty cool looking, and I'll definitely give my thoughts on them. Well, I've given my thoughts on them in several other videos, but let's keep talking about this issue. So not wanting her friends to get caught in the crossfire, Lauren makes an escape for the others and decides to stay behind with Rita to fight off the rest of the Eltarian forces, not knowing the extent of their army they're bringing in here to deal with just one Ranger and one Space Witch, because they bring the whole freaking platoon here almost, it seems like. So, Captain Cannell shows up. Captain Cannell was in issue 2, one of the Eltarian soldiers that first discovered Rita all the way back then. So, bit of a grudge match here, you could say, between these characters. And she tells Rita to stand down with her Ranger by saying, you don't want this. You don't want the storm that's about to come. And Rita has this big shit-eating grin on her face. She laughs. It's a really awesome page that Michael drew here with Rita having that sort of like biting her bottom lip smirk, or that biting her bottom lip laugh, and that shit-eating grin she's got on her face. It's freaking amazing. And Rita replies by saying, I do want this. And she uses her magic to bring one of the T-Rex fossil displays to life. And I feel like there's some really good symbolism you've got going on here, because Lauren has got the power of the T-Rex. Rita brings her T-Rex to life to aid them in battle. I feel like if that's what they were going for, that's some really great symbolism they've got for that page here. So Lauren, with her brand new powers, she leaps into action and she starts kicking ass right away. And the fight scenes that Michael does here on these pages are really freaking fantastic. Like, a really amazing job that Michael did with these action scenes. Now, while this is all going on, the others are making their escape, and Orion speaks up and he pipes up by saying, hey, we just can't leave Lauren there. She needs to know that she's not alone in this fight, because when everyone else was first escaping, Orion was going to stay back because he didn't trust the vibes that Rita was giving. And that's totally understandable. But everyone else speaks up, and you kind of see the perspectives on why they're wanting to escape. You've got Mark by saying, I don't know what else we can do. So Mark's one of those guys that is unsure what he could do to help people. You've got Valentina worried about getting jailed and stuck into a camp. And John is just saying, look, we just got to get out of here. And Orion makes a really good point by saying, look, we're in this together now, and tells Mark that Mark could have just left her in the dumpster, but he didn't, and John and Valentina could have ratted them out ages ago, but they didn't. So Orion is showing that, like, hey, look, we're in too deep now, we've got to help her out because she's our friend. And while this is all going on, you've got Bulk who comes around the corner, and Bulk in this universe is kind of showing like the Bulk we all know and love, where he's kind of being a little bit cowardly, where he's like, look, there's a battle between a Space Witch, a Ranger, and a bunch of angry Eltarians, and I don't want to be standing amongst whoever's going to win this fight, because whoever wins this fight is probably not going to be a good outcome, and I don't want to be caught in the middle of it. So Bulk being Bulk, he's just kind of keeping his distance and doing what is best for him, which is kind of funny in a way. And a lot of people have been gunning for Bulk to be the sixth Ranger in this series, and it looks like Melissa has big plans for him, especially with what's set up with him in this issue, where he's sort of reaching the best potential he can possibly reach by helping people out. So who knows what Melissa has planned with Bulk in this universe. After that, we then cut back to Lauren and Rita trying to fight off the Eltarian forces, and they're soon hit by a giant blast that's enough to destroy the T-Rex fossil display and keep Rita down and out for a little bit for the next couple of pages. So it's a pretty powerful blast that they get caught by. And Lauren's surprised. She thought this was one of the Eltarian weapons used by Cannell, and Cannell's like, oh, that's not my weapon, it's their weapon. And suddenly you have the VR troopers on the scene ready to fuck shit up. And here we get an interesting dynamic between the VR troopers and the Eltarian forces with how they're treated right now, because, you know, like I said, they're soldiers just doing their job. And Lauren immediately runs in, and she's barely able to hold her own against the Eltarian forces, and they just run in there. Ryan just runs in there and knees Lauren right in the face, shattering her helmet, and it's pretty freaking brutal. I mean, Lauren is even on the ground, and Ryan has her by the neck as he's trying to choke her out and subdue her to make sure, like, she's down and out for the count. Like, it's a pretty brutal, like, force that they're using to subdue these Rangers, because, you know, Rangers in this universe are built up to be this dangerous threat, so the VR troopers are using whatever force they can to stop her. And things are looking bad for Lauren as the VR troopers slowly close in on her, and you have this one scene where Cannell says to Ryan by saying, look, this is taking too long, let's just get in there together and take him out. And Ryan's like, no, clear the room and leave this to us. You heard me, Guardian, fall back. And Cannell does not like this. She's like, are you trying to give me orders? I think I outrank you. And Ryan says, this Ranger is dangerous, we need space to work. So that's Ryan's mindset with how he's going to handle this situation. And Cannell says, look, you only get to order me once, human, but Eltarians have long memories. So that is definitely going to be setting up some conflict between Kanel and the BR troopers, or mostly Ryan, in the nearby future. So this one interaction that we had between these two characters in this issue is definitely going to play a role moving forward in the next couple of issues, or even within the next story arc, because that's quite an interesting interaction that we had between them. How Ryan's like, look, let me just handle this, you can just fuck off. But Kanel's like, look, let's just stand down, the VR troopers can handle this if they can. So Bulk runs over to Rita and is like, hey, I think you're losing right now. And he does say that she needs to stop this, but Rita's like, look, you're an idiot, but my resources are depleted and we've only got one ranger. How are you going to get out of this? And Bulk's like, if you had more resources. And he opens his hand up. Well, he takes up this bag and opens up his hand, and you've got a bunch of stones being presented to Rita. And with everyone else watching the battle going on, they want to help out, they want to do something. And Rita's like, if you want to help her, I can help you. And she begins chanting another magic spell to infuse them with brand new power coins. And as she begins like the big speech by saying, look, you can become powerful rangers, the choice is yours, I won't force it upon you, take out and reach it. And during a big speech, she gets blasted. So one of the VR troopers blasted Rita during her monologue, and I gotta say that's kind of funny because, you know, she's making this big monologue and someone blasts her, which is kind of funny because, you know, that no one in Power Rangers gets blasted enough during a transformation or gets blasted during a monologue, and someone in this comic did it right here. So everyone reaches out for the power coins, and Valentina is reaching out for hers, and Ryan tries to stop her. But one of the people who wants to become a ranger is Jun, because Jun says, do you know how many times I've had decisions made for me? My entire life I've been told I have to be a hero, I have to be a guardian, an example. And this is Jun moving away, like I said at the start of the issue, forging his own path that isn't ingraded by his Eltarian roots. He's making his own path. He's being a hero on his own terms. And I gotta say, that's really freaking cool. So Ryan tries to stop Valentina from grabbing the power coin, but it's too late. And then suddenly they reach out, they grab their power coins. There's a massive explosion. And then from the blast, you see the appearance of the Prime Rangers who have finally come together, all 5 Rangers. So that's where the issue ends, where you have the Prime Rangers about to face off against the VR Troopers, and that's where the issue ends. So Power Rangers Prime issue 4 was a fantastic issue. Once again, another solid issue done by Melissa and done by Michael. Really freaking great. I can't wait to see where this comic is going to go moving forward with the solicitations that have been released so far. So I'm really curious about that because, you know, we've got issue 5 coming out, and then we've got issue 6, and then the VR Troopers one-shot, of course. So there's a lot of Power Rangers Prime content in the nearby future, but probably a bunch of other stuff we'll see later down the line. So this was a solid issue, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go next. What are your thoughts on it? Tell me in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And with that said, I will catch you guys next time. Peace out, take care, and bye.